felt the air shift before something big happens? Tomorrow, September 21, the rare Black Moon Eclipse arrives, and its energy is unlike anything this year. Strange signs, hidden truths, and powerful shifts are already unfolding. Stay with me, because what you hear tonight could change how you step into tomorrow. When people hear the phrase Black Moon Eclipse, it can sound mysterious, even a little intimidating, but breaking it down helps us see why this moment is so rare and powerful. On September 21, 2025, we're experiencing not just an ordinary new moon, but what astrologers call a black moon. A black moon happens when two new moons occur within the same calendar month, or when a season contains 4 new moons instead of the usual 3. In either case, it's an uncommon phenomenon, something that doesn't show up every year, and when it does, it's often linked to intense shifts in energy and awareness. Now pair that with the fact that this particular black moon coincides with a partial solar eclipse. That's where the new moon moves directly between the Earth and the Sun, temporarily dimming its light. Even though this eclipse won't completely cover the Sun, the alignment is powerful enough to create what many traditions see as a veil, a moment when hidden truths surface, and the usual order of life feels briefly interrupted. Think of it as a cosmic pause button, or better yet, a cosmic reboot. Throughout history, eclipses have carried weighty symbolism. In ancient times, they were often feared as omens of change, signaling the fall of kings, the rise of new eras, or divine messages demanding attention. The darkness of an eclipse was not just seen as the absence of sunlight, but as the exposure of what normally remains unseen. Civilizations across the world, from Babylon to Mesoamerica, treated eclipses as sacred events where the balance between light and shadow was laid bare. And when you add the element of a black moon, that symbolism intensifies. It's not only a reset, it's a reset layered with the idea of rarity and hidden depth. Spiritually, a black moon represents the void, the space before creation. While full moons illuminate what is already visible, new moons are about planting seeds, setting intentions, and beginning new cycles. A black moon amplifies this by symbolizing an even deeper blank slate, a chance to let go of what no longer serves and step courageously into the unknown. When this blank slate overlaps with a solar eclipse, the experience becomes even more dramatic. Eclipses don't just encourage reflection, they force it. They bring turning points we can't avoid, whether that's an ending in relationships, a revelation in career, or a sudden shift in inner purpose. So when we talk about the September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse, we're talking about one of the year's most potent cosmic alignments, a rare blend of endings, beginnings, and revelations. It's not here to scare you, it's here to wake you up. The universe is offering a window where the ordinary rules bend, and those who pay attention can realign their path with something greater than themselves. Instead of resisting the shadows, this is the time to recognize them, release what they're showing you, and prepare for the light that follows. Every eclipse carries intensity, but the one on September 21, 2025 is not just another date on the calendar. It arrives at a uniquely charged moment in time. What makes this Black Moon Eclipse stand out is the combination of its celestial position, its seasonal timing, and its symbolic layers that line up like pieces of a puzzle, creating an atmosphere unlike anything we've seen recently. First, look at where this eclipse falls in the year. September is the threshold between seasons, with the autumn equinox just around the corner. Equinoxes themselves symbolize balance, day and night standing in perfect equality before the scales tip again. Now, picture a black moon eclipse landing right before this shift. It's like the universe adding an exclamation point to the transition, telling us this is not an ordinary change of seasons. Instead, it's a moment where personal and collective cycles align for a reset. For many, this energy won't feel subtle, it will feel like a door opening and another slamming shut. There's also the numerology of the date itself, 21092025. When you add these numbers together, they reduce to 3, a number long associated with creation, expression, and transformation. In numerology, 3 is the energy of communication, of bringing inner truths into the outer world. Combined with an eclipse, this means many people may find themselves suddenly speaking truths they've been holding back or facing revelations that can no longer be ignored. It's the kind of timing that can shift relationships, careers, or even personal identity, because it forces what's been hidden into the light. Astrologically, this eclipse occurs near the cusp of Virgo and Libra. Virgo's influence emphasizes cleansing, order, and healing, while Libra adds themes of harmony, justice, and relationships. Together, they create a push to not only sort out personal lives, but also rebalance connections with others. For some, this may manifest as long overdue conversations, the clearing of unhealthy bonds, or the recognition that harmony cannot come at the cost of self-respect. History also shows that equinox eclipses carry a weight of prophecy. Ancient cultures often marked them as gateways into new cycles of leadership, agriculture, and spiritual practice. The Mayans, for example, considered autumnal eclipses to be portals where destiny could shift for entire communities. When an eclipse coincides with a black moon, the rarity magnifies the significance, turning it into more than just a cosmic spectacle. It becomes a mirror reflecting what humanity collectively needs to face. That's why September 21, 2025 is different. It's not just about looking at the sky, it's about recognizing that this day is a convergence of cosmic math, celestial cycles, and spiritual symbolism. This eclipse is not random. It's time to shake loose what has grown stagnant and to prepare us for a new chapter. If you've been feeling restless, uncertain, or on the verge of change, know that it's not in your head. The universe is setting the stage for a transformation that's meant to be noticed. When people talk about eclipses being a reset, it's not just poetic language, it's an accurate way to describe how these events shake up the energy we live in. Think of your life like a phone that's been running too many apps at once. Eventually, the system slows down, glitches, or drains the battery. A reset clears out the clutter and restarts the system so it can run smoother. That's what an eclipse does for your soul. It presses a cosmic reset button, wiping away old patterns that no longer serve you and forcing a fresh start. A new moon is already known as a time of new beginnings. It's the lunar phase for setting intentions, planting seeds, and imagining what you want to grow in the coming cycle. But when that new moon is joined by a solar eclipse, the effect is multiplied. Instead of simply suggesting change, the eclipse demands it. The reset isn't gentle, it can be abrupt, even shocking. Relationships may suddenly end, job paths might reroute overnight, or deeply buried truths could come to light without warning. It's as if the universe says, this door must close now, so another one can finally open. What makes this particular reset so powerful is that it comes through a black moon eclipse. While most of us are familiar with the rhythm of a single new moon each month, a black moon brings an extra rare wave of energy. It's like getting a bonus reset on top of the reset, doubling down on the chance to clear the slate. If you've been holding on to habits, fears, or connections that have weighed you down for years, this eclipse is the moment where the weight becomes impossible to carry any longer. The energy reset also works internally. You may feel called to re-examine who you are at your core. Many people report sudden bursts of clarity during or after an eclipse, realizing what they truly want, recognizing the roles they've been playing that aren't authentic, or feeling a deep inner nudge to finally walk a path they've avoided. This is not about chasing perfection, it's about aligning with truth. Just like rebooting your phone doesn't delete what matters, but clears away what's stuck. This reset clears the fog so your true self can shine through. It's important to understand that while this energetic reset can feel disruptive, it's not here to harm you, it's here to free you. It can feel scary when life changes faster than expected, but the eclipse is ultimately removing what blocks your growth. The Black Moon Eclipse on September 21, 2025 is an invitation to trust the process. The slate is being wiped clean not to leave you empty, but to give you space for what you were always meant to carry forward. One of the most fascinating aspects of eclipses is how many traditions describe them as portals, moments when the normal rules of time, energy, and perception bend, and we catch a glimpse of something bigger than ourselves. While that might sound mystical, the feeling is very real for those who experience it. During an eclipse, especially a black moon eclipse, it's as though the universe pulls back a curtain for a few hours, revealing patterns and truths that usually stay hidden. Think of a portal as an energetic doorway. Most of the time, we're moving along in our daily routines, bound by the same habits and choices. But when a portal opens, it's like standing at a crossroads where multiple paths suddenly become visible. You may feel heightened intuition, a stronger connection to your inner voice, or even unusual experiences that defy explanation, like vivid dreams, synchronicities, or déjà vu moments that feel too precise to be coincidence. These are not accidents, they are signals that you are standing in a window of transformation. During the September 2025 Black Moon Eclipse, this portal effect will be amplified because of the rare combination of a new moon, a solar eclipse, and the black moon energy. Together, these forces create an atmosphere that feels almost electric, charged with potential. Some people will experience emotional surges, like sudden inspiration or intense release of old grief. Others may feel time itself acting strangely. Days may feel blurred, or hours might pass in a haze of unusual clarity. Portals, however, are double-edged. Just as they can lead you toward growth, they can also magnify confusion or fear if you aren't grounded. Think of it like standing in front of several open doors. If you panic, you might rush into the wrong one, but if you pause and breathe, you can step into the path that aligns with your higher purpose. This is why awareness is so crucial during eclipses. The energy is strong, but how you respond to it determines what you carry forward. Throughout history, stories of portals have been tied to moments of great change. Shamans, mystics, and spiritual seekers often used eclipses as times for ritual work because they believed the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds was thinner. Even today, many people report feeling more connected to their dreams, their ancestors, or their spiritual guides during eclipse portals. The key to navigating this energy is to remain present. If you treat this eclipse as an open doorway instead of a random event, you'll be able to choose what you bring with you into the next chapter. The portal effect isn't about magic tricks or sudden miracles, it's about heightened awareness. It's the universe saying, pay attention, because what you choose now will echo far into your future. Long before an eclipse actually arrives, sensitive people begin to notice its pull. That's because the energy of an eclipse doesn't just appear suddenly in the sky, it builds, like waves rising before they crash on the shore. If you've been feeling off in ways you can't explain lately, chances are you're already tuning into the frequency of the September 2025 Black Moon Eclipse. One of the first signs people notice is physical shifts. You may feel sudden fatigue, as if your body is processing something heavy without you realizing it. Others experience restlessness, trouble sleeping, or even bursts of energy that come and go unpredictably. Headaches, tension in the neck or back, and tingling sensations are also common. It's as though your body is recalibrating itself to handle the surge of cosmic energy on the way. The emotional signs can be even stronger. Many people report mood swings, crying for no clear reason, or feeling joy and sadness almost back to back. This is the eclipse stirring up what has been buried, unresolved emotions, unspoken truths, or even forgotten memories. If you've noticed old wounds resurfacing or emotions bubbling up unexpectedly, it's not regression, it's preparation. The eclipse energy wants you to face what's been hidden so you can release it when the reset arrives. Then there are the synchronicities. Repeating numbers like 11, 2, 22, or 921, a mirror of the date itself, may appear on clocks, receipts, or random places throughout the day. Technology may glitch more than usual, lights might flicker, or you could have unusual encounters with animals, like birds gathering in strange patterns or pets acting restless. These external signs mirror the inner shifts, as though reality itself is nudging you to notice the changes. Dreams also become more vivid in the days leading up to an eclipse. Some people dream of symbolic imagery, keys, doors, shadows, or falling objects, while others dream of people from their past appearing unexpectedly. These dreams aren't random, they're your subconscious trying to process the eclipse energy ahead of time. Pay attention to recurring themes or emotions in these dreams, because they often point to what you'll need to release or embrace once the eclipse arrives. Perhaps the most telling sign, though, is the sense of urgency. You may feel like time is running out, or that you're standing at the edge of something big but invisible. This can create both anxiety and excitement, as if your soul knows change is near even if your mind can't explain it. That inner pull is one of the clearest signals that you're already in alignment with the eclipse's influence. If you've been experiencing any of these signs, take them seriously. They're not coincidences, they're your personal proof that the Black Moon eclipse is already working in your life. Instead of resisting or doubting, lean into the awareness. These signals are invitations, preparing you to step through the upcoming portal with clarity and strength. While eclipses carry incredible potential for transformation, they also come with warnings. Just as the sun's light is temporarily blocked during a solar eclipse, clarity in our lives can also be obscured. The shadow side of eclipses is about illusions, sudden disruptions, and spiritual tests that are designed to challenge us before we step into the next chapter. Understanding this side of the eclipse is crucial because not everything revealed in the dark can or should be trusted. One of the most common themes during an eclipse is the surfacing of illusions. You may think you're finally seeing the truth about a situation or a person, only to later realize that what appeared so clear in the heat of eclipse energy was distorted. This happens because eclipses magnify emotions, and under that intensity, people act in ways they normally wouldn't. Words said during this period may come from heightened fear, jealousy, or impulse, not lasting truth. That's why spiritual traditions often caution against making life-altering decisions in the days immediately surrounding an eclipse. Relationships are particularly vulnerable. The Black Moon eclipse on September 21, 2025 may stir up jealousy, betrayal, or hidden motives, especially among those closest to you. It doesn't mean that every bond will break, but it does mean that weak or false connections are more likely to crack under the weight of this energy. Someone you trust could suddenly reveal a side of themselves you didn't expect. These moments can be painful, but they are also clarifying. They show you who truly stands with you and who doesn't. Another shadow aspect is the rise of spiritual tests. During an eclipse, you may encounter opportunities that seem too good to be true or invitations that feel tempting but carry hidden consequences. These are not gifts of destiny, they are distractions meant to test your discernment. For example, someone from your past may reappear suddenly, offering reconciliation, but the real lesson may be in recognizing why that cycle ended in the first place. The shadow side also shows up internally. You might feel waves of self-doubt, fear, or anger. Old insecurities may rise from nowhere, leaving you questioning your worth or your path. These feelings are not failures, they are shadows surfacing so they can finally be released. But if you let them control your actions, lashing out, cutting ties recklessly, or sabotaging your own progress, you risk carrying the very energy you're meant to let go of into your future. The key is awareness. The shadows of an eclipse are not here to destroy you, they are here to reveal what must change. If you can resist impulsive choices, stay grounded, and observe the illusions without getting trapped in them, the eclipse becomes less of a danger and more of a teacher. Remember, shadows only have power when you mistake them for the truth. Every eclipse affects the collective, but those who are more spiritually awake, the so-called chosen ones, often feel its weight far more intensely. A chosen one is not someone with an inflated title. It's anyone who has stepped onto a path of higher awareness, committed to living with clarity, purpose, and spiritual responsibility. For these souls, the September 21, 2025 Black Moon eclipse won't just be another cosmic event. It will feel like a personal test and initiation. The first impact comes through heightened sensitivity. Chosen ones are like antennas, naturally tuned into shifts in energy. While others may simply feel moody or restless, those walking a conscious path may experience a flood of visions, intuitive nudges, or powerful synchronicities in the days leading up to and after the eclipse. It's as if the universe is speaking louder, urging them to pay attention. Dreams may be more vivid, meditation may feel deeper, and signs in the physical world, like repeating numbers or uncanny coincidences, can multiply. But with heightened awareness also comes heightened opposition. Many traditions speak of spiritual warfare, and eclipses often stir these energies. Chosen ones may feel sudden waves of doubt, loneliness, or even psychic heaviness, as if unseen forces are trying to pull them off their path. These challenges are not punishments, they are tests. The eclipse amplifies what is already within and around us, and for those carrying a greater purpose, the shadows will often press harder to derail their progress. Relationships can also be strained. The eclipse energy may trigger misunderstandings or conflicts, particularly with people who don't understand the chosen one's journey. Friends or family may project jealousy, resistance, or fear. This can leave spiritually aware individuals feeling isolated, But that isolation itself is part of the test. It pushes them to rely on inner strength rather than external validation. At the same time, the eclipse also empowers chosen ones. The very pressure that feels heavy is shaping resilience. Those who remain aligned during this period often emerge with greater clarity about their mission and stronger spiritual protection. It's as if the eclipse energy strips away distractions and false supports, leaving only what is authentic. For many, this could mark a turning point where hidden talents, spiritual gifts, or new directions in life suddenly become undeniable. The most important thing for chosen ones during this eclipse is to recognize that they are not alone. Many around the world are feeling the same heightened energy, facing the same tests, and stepping into the same portal of transformation. By staying grounded, practicing protection, and trusting their intuition, chosen ones can use the Black Moon Eclipse of September 21, 2025 not as a burden, but as a launching point into the higher timeline they were always meant to walk. While eclipses on their own are powerful, their influence is always colored by the planetary alignments surrounding them. The September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse takes place under a sky filled with movements that act like amplifiers and filters, shaping how we experience the energy. Think of it like a cosmic orchestra. The eclipse is the main instrument, but the surrounding planets set the rhythm and tone. At this eclipse, the Sun and Moon align in Virgo, transitioning into Libra. Virgo's energy is about healing, cleansing, and sorting through what is practical and useful. It brings a desire to simplify, to shed what clutters our lives, and to return to wholeness. Libra, on the other hand, represents balance, relationships, and harmony. Together, these signs set the stage for both personal healing and the rebalancing of partnerships. For many, this could show up as letting go of toxic relationships, rethinking commitments, or restoring fairness where things have been one-sided. Saturn's presence is another key factor. Known as the planet of karma, discipline, and long-term lessons, Saturn often ensures that what happens around eclipses is not temporary fluff, it's karmic groundwork. If you've been avoiding responsibility in any area of your life, Saturn's influence means the eclipse will likely force you to face it head-on. The lessons may feel heavy, but they're meant to build lasting strength. Meanwhile, Neptune's influence in Pisces adds another layer. Neptune rules dreams, illusions, and spirituality. Under its spell, things can feel foggy or confusing, making it hard to distinguish truth from fantasy. This reinforces the caution against acting impulsively during the eclipse. Decisions made in haste could later reveal themselves as misunderstandings. On the positive side, Neptune also heightens intuition and creativity, making this eclipse an ideal time for meditation, prayer, or artistic expression. Mars and Venus play their roles too. Mars, the planet of action and passion, may inflame tempers or spark sudden bursts of courage. Venus, ruling love and values, can shift how we connect with others or what we desire most. Together, they highlight the emotional intensity of this eclipse, especially in romantic or family relationships. Old patterns of love, attachment, or desire may suddenly be challenged, and new dynamics may form. Looking at the bigger picture, the zodiac elements also play a role. Fire signs may feel restless and eager to act. Earth signs may feel the pull to ground and restructure. Air signs may find clarity through ideas and conversations, while water signs may be flooded with emotions and intuition. Each element processes the eclipse differently, but all are drawn into its reset. In short, the astrological alignments of September 21, 2025 remind us that this eclipse is not random, it's precise. Every planet adds a note to the cosmic chord, ensuring that the energy is not just about sudden change, but about meaningful transformation with karmic weight and spiritual significance. One of the most sensitive areas during eclipses is the realm of relationships. The September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse is especially powerful in this regard because of its Libra influence, which governs balance, fairness, and connection. While the eclipse may inspire some people to deepen authentic bonds, it can also expose cracks in relationships that were hidden beneath the surface. This is where caution is essential, because not every revelation during an eclipse can be trusted at face value. Eclipses often act like a floodlight, suddenly illuminating aspects of people that we hadn't noticed before. This can feel like clarity, but remember, the light is sharp and temporary. Under heightened emotional pressure, even people close to us may act out of fear, jealousy, or insecurity. You may find that someone reveals a truth in anger or confesses something unexpected, but later their words may not match their true heart. That's why it's dangerous to lock in big decisions about relationships during this time. What feels urgent in the heat of eclipse energy may dissolve once the intensity passes. There's also the issue of hidden motives. The Black Moon Eclipse carries energy that tends to pull masks off, showing you who is envious, who is supportive, and who may be working against you silently. It doesn't mean everyone around you has bad intentions, but it does mean you should stay aware. Those closest to you can sometimes be the ones who project their fears or insecurities the strongest, and under eclipse energy, jealousy or resentment can bubble up. For spiritually sensitive individuals, this can feel like betrayal, but often it is more about the other person's unresolved struggles than about you personally. Trust issues are not always external either. They can show up inside yourself. During eclipses, doubts about your own worth, your ability to choose the right people, or your fear of abandonment may rise. These inner shadows need attention just as much as external ones because they can cloud your judgment if left unchecked. Recognizing these feelings without letting them control your actions is part of the growth this eclipse demands. So how should you navigate trust during this time? The key is discernment without paranoia. Don't assume that every person is hiding something dark, but also don't ignore red flags. If someone shows you behavior that feels off, take note of it, but wait until after the eclipse energy settles before making a final call. Give yourself space to see the full picture. The Black Moon Eclipse is a test, and relationships are one of its sharpest mirrors. If a bond is strong and true, it may survive the storm and emerge even deeper. If it's built on illusion, control, or fear, this eclipse could bring it to an end. Either way, the truth that comes out is a gift. It clears the path for relationships rooted in authenticity, respect, and balance. While eclipses often stir fear because of their intensity, they are ultimately designed to create growth. The September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse may feel disruptive in the moment, but its deeper purpose is to clear space for transformation, personally, spiritually, and even collectively. The key is to view the eclipse not as chaos, but as an invitation to step into a new version of yourself. On a personal level, the eclipse offers a chance to shed old cycles. Maybe you've been stuck in a job that drains your energy or holding onto a relationship that no longer feels aligned. Perhaps you've been repeating the same habits or carrying the same fears year after year. Eclipses have a way of breaking those loops, sometimes suddenly and dramatically. While endings can feel painful, they often free you from what was quietly holding you back. It's like the universe saying, "You're done carrying this, let it go so you can step forward lighter." There's also the opportunity for reinvention. Black moons symbolize a rare kind of new beginning, the chance to create from a deeper blank slate than usual. This is the perfect moment to ask yourself who you really want to become, not just what you want to achieve. Do you want to live more authentically? Express creativity you've been suppressing. Align your daily life with your spiritual values. The energy of this eclipse can support those shifts if you set intentions with clarity and patience. On a collective scale, this eclipse may also bring opportunities for transformation in communities, politics, or global consciousness. Eclipses often act as turning points in history, shaking systems that no longer serve and spotlighting what needs change. We may see truths revealed in leadership, sudden shifts in alliances, or movements toward greater balance in society. These events may look chaotic, but from a spiritual lens, they represent deeper layers of humanity evolving. Another overlooked opportunity is transformation through awareness. Even if nothing dramatic happens externally, the internal realizations that emerge can reshape your path. A conversation, a dream, or even a passing thought during the eclipse could spark the kind of clarity that changes the way you see everything. Transformation doesn't always roar, it sometimes whispers, and those whispers can be just as life-changing. The most powerful part of transformation is that it's not forced, it's chosen. The eclipse opens the door, but you decide whether to walk through it. You can resist, clinging to what's familiar, or you can trust that the unknown holds more promise than the weight of the past. The Black Moon Eclipse of September 21, 2025 is not a threat, it's an opportunity. By aligning with it consciously, you can turn endings into beginnings and uncertainty into empowerment. When an eclipse arrives, one of the greatest battles doesn't happen in the sky, it happens inside us. The September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse will bring intense energy that can easily trigger fear. Uncertainty, sudden change, and hidden revelations naturally make people anxious, but how we respond in this moment decides whether we spiral into chaos or step into transformation. The dividing line is simple. Do we move through the eclipse with fear or with faith? Fear during an eclipse shows up in many forms. Some people may feel panicked about endings, clinging tightly to relationships, jobs, or beliefs that are already falling apart. Others might make rash decisions, quitting something abruptly, lashing out at loved ones, or assuming the worst. Fear can also look like paralysis, shutting down, ignoring the signs, and hoping everything will return to normal. While these reactions are human, they often cause more pain because fear blinds us to the bigger picture. Faith, on the other hand, transforms the same situation. Having faith doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties, it means trusting that every shift has a purpose, even if it's not immediately clear. Faith allows you to release what is ending without bitterness, to see challenges as teachers, and to believe that what's waiting on the other side of the eclipse is aligned with your growth. Faith doesn't erase discomfort, it steadies you so you can move through it. One powerful way to shift from fear to faith is through awareness. If you feel fear rising during this eclipse, pause and ask yourself, am I reacting to the situation as it is, or to the story my fear is telling me? Most of the time, fear exaggerates the danger, while faith grounds us in the truth that change is not the end, it's the beginning of something new. Another way is through affirmations and intentional practices. Simple statements like, I trust this change is getting me to where I belong, or what is meant for me cannot be taken from me, can reframe your energy in powerful ways. Even brief moments of prayer, meditation, or grounding activities like walking barefoot on the earth can pull you out of fear's grip and remind you of your inner strength. It's also important to remember that the energy of this eclipse is not personal punishment, it's universal alignment. Everyone will feel it in some way, and those who lean into faith rather than fear will find themselves carried forward with less resistance. Ultimately, the Black Moon Eclipse of September 21, 2025 is a test of trust. Fear locks the door to transformation, faith opens it wide. By choosing faith, believing that the universe is guiding you even in the dark, you walk through the eclipse not as a victim of change, but as a conscious participant in your own rebirth. During powerful celestial events like the September 21, 2025 Black Moon Eclipse, the energy is magnified in ways that can feel both overwhelming and transformative. That's why spiritual traditions across the world have always paired eclipses with rituals, practices to help anchor, protect, and direct this heightened energy. By engaging in conscious rituals, you're not just a passive observer of the eclipse, you become an active participant, shaping how its power influences your life. One of the simplest and most effective practices is grounding. When energy is chaotic, staying rooted helps you remain stable. Walking barefoot on grass or soil, sitting quietly with your hands on the earth, or even holding a stone in your palm can anchor you in the present moment. Grounding is like spiritual gravity. It keeps you from floating away in the intensity of eclipse emotions. Another key ritual is energy cleansing. Because eclipses stir up shadows and old wounds, clearing your space and body helps release what no longer belongs. You might burn sage, Palo Santo, or incense, take a salt bath, or use sound cleansing through bells, chimes, or singing bowls. The point is not the tool itself, but the intention, to wash away stagnant energy and create space for renewal. Prayer and meditation also carry extra power during eclipses. Instead of long, complicated practices, focus on stillness and clarity. You can sit quietly and repeat a simple affirmation such as, I release what no longer serves me, and I welcome aligned blessings into my life. Even a few minutes of conscious breathing can create a shield of calm in the midst of chaos. Another meaningful ritual is journaling and intention setting. Write down what you are ready to release, habits, fears, relationships, or patterns, and then in a safe way, burn or bury the paper as a symbol of letting go. After that, Write new intentions for the cycle ahead. This simple act tells your subconscious that you're ready for transformation, helping you align with the eclipse's reset energy. It's also important to practice protective boundaries. This doesn't just mean avoiding physical spaces that feel draining, but also limiting digital noise. Eclipses can magnify emotional conflict online and offline, so step back from unnecessary debates, gossip, or negativity. Protect your aura as carefully as you would lock your front door at night. Finally, remember that less is more. Some traditions warn against performing overly complex rituals during eclipses, as the energy can be unpredictable. The most effective practices are simple, clear, and grounded in your authentic intention. By combining grounding, cleansing, prayer, intention setting, and healthy boundaries, you create a protective cocoon around yourself during the Black Moon eclipse. These practices don't just shield you, they prepare you to step into the transformation with clarity, courage, and alignment. The hours leading up to an eclipse are like the final stretch before a powerful storm. The air feels different, emotions intensify, and time itself seems to quicken. With the September 21, 2025 Black Moon eclipse approaching, what you do or avoid doing in the 24 hours before the event can make a huge difference in how you experience it. Think of this as your eclipse survival guide, a strategy to help you align with the energy instead of being overwhelmed by it. First, let's talk about what not to do. This is not the time for major decisions, whether in relationships, finances, or commitments. Eclipses are infamous for making people act impulsively under pressure, only to regret those choices once the energy settles. Avoid signing contracts, starting conflicts, or making drastic life changes. The energy is too turbulent to guarantee clarity. What feels urgent now may look very different once the eclipse passes. Instead, use this time for reflection and release. Set aside a quiet space where you won't be disturbed and spend some time journaling. Write down the habits, fears, or attachments you're ready to let go of. The act of putting it into words is powerful, but you can take it further by safely burning the paper or burying it, symbolizing a conscious release. This small ritual tells both your subconscious and the universe that you're ready for a clean slate. Protecting your energy is equally important. In the 24 hours before the eclipse, avoid unnecessary arguments, toxic conversations, or draining environments. Think of your energy as a fragile flame, shield it carefully. Limit exposure to social media drama, news overload, or anything that stirs fear and negativity. Instead, focus on calming activities like meditation, prayer, light stretching, or even a mindful walk in nature. Another key strategy is to rest and recharge. Many people underestimate how physically demanding eclipse energy can feel. Fatigue, restlessness, or even sudden bursts of energy are common, and the best way to handle them is by listening to your body. Get extra sleep if you need it, hydrate well, and eat lighter foods that don't weigh down your system. The cleaner your body feels, the easier it is to process the energetic shifts. Lastly, make space for alignment. As midnight approaches, focus on gratitude. Even if you're facing endings, remind yourself that they create space for beginnings. Whisper affirmations, light a candle, or simply sit in silence and breathe. What matters most in these 24 hours is your state of mind. The more centered and intentional you are, the more the eclipse will work in your favor. The final hours before the Black Moon eclipse are not about control, they're about preparation. Use them wisely, and you'll step into the eclipse with clarity, strength, and a sense of readiness for whatever transformation awaits. The eclipse itself may only last a few hours, but its effects ripple far beyond that window. In fact, the days and weeks following the September 21, 2025 Black Moon eclipse are just as important as the event itself. This is the stage of integration, where the energetic reset begins to settle and your choices determine how the transformation unfolds. Think of the eclipse as planting a seed. Integration is the process of watering, nurturing, and allowing it to grow. The first step in integration is awareness of lingering energy. Many people expect life to snap back to normal after an eclipse, but in reality, the intensity can linger for several weeks. You may feel emotionally sensitive, physically tired, or notice more synchronicities than usual. Rather than brushing these off, treat them as signals. They're part of your adjustment process, getting you to pay attention to what has shifted inside you. Journaling becomes especially powerful during this time. Dreams may be vivid, and symbols that appear in daily life, numbers, repeating themes, or encounters, often carry messages. Write them down, even if they don't make sense at first. Over time, patterns will emerge, showing you what the eclipse is teaching you. Integration also requires patience. Not all revelations arrive instantly. Sometimes the eclipse acts like a rock thrown into water. The ripples spread slowly, revealing the full impact only over time. You may not fully understand why certain endings or beginnings happened until weeks later. Trust that clarity will come when you're ready to see it. Relationships will also need care after the eclipse. If conflicts arose, give them breathing room before making final decisions. If connections deepened, nurture them with honesty and gentleness. The post-eclipse period is not about rushing, but about stabilizing what was shaken. On a practical level, this is the perfect time to establish new routines that align with your intentions. If the eclipse revealed a need for better boundaries, start practicing them. If it pushed you to pursue creativity or spirituality, carve out daily time for it. The energy of the eclipse will support new habits, but it's up to you to anchor them into reality. Most importantly, approach this period with gratitude. Even if the eclipse brought challenges, thank the process for clearing what no longer served you. Gratitude shifts your focus from loss to growth, reminding you that every ending was a doorway to something new. Integration is about honoring the changes without forcing them. The Black Moon Eclipse of September 21, 2025 has the power to redirect your life, but it's in the quiet days afterward where the real transformation takes root. If you move forward with patience, awareness, and gratitude, you'll find yourself not just changed by the eclipse, but strengthened, aligned, and ready for the new chapter it has opened.